Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of Based Earth. We're joined here in the galaxy, going through the solar system with our good friend Madison here. Madison is an energy healer, a practicer of meditation, a practicer of astrology. She has a lot of wisdom when it comes to this astrological thing that we find ourselves in, this situation. So Madison, tell us about yourself. Tell us about, I'm so interested in your energy healing, and the astrology obviously is huge. It affects us a lot, so let's hear about some stuff.
Right, yeah, so some of the things that I specialize in, energy healing, astrology. I'm really also into mythology, occult sciences, which they all kind of come together, right? And my main thing is I do want to pull all of those things together. Eventually with my energy healing work, I would love to blend it with my knowledge of occult science to be able to look at different correspondences and to be able to pull that into the healing of whoever I'm working with. Like, for example, if you've got some heart stuff going on, you know, we can think about heart, we can think of the, numerical association to 7. Maybe I can do like some rhythmic 7-beat drumming on the chest. We could, bring in some different flower essences that are going to be good with that. We could bring in the essence of Venus, call in any god or goddesses that would help in that work. So that's kind of where I'm going, and I also want to help bring like my medical astrology into that as well. I'm also currently in a apprenticeship right now in a group of 6 psychiatrists, and I'm learning with them about how we can learn to bridge psychology and astrology together to make a better, more holistic, whole-minded approach and understanding, yes. Because a long time ago, all of that kind of was in together, and it's kind of been fragmented as time went on. So it feels like it's like this breakthrough period of history, but it also is like, oh, this shouldn't feel like a breakthrough. Like, I feel like we should have been advanced so far into this practice by now. So I'm really excited to be working with that. I specifically like studying Jungian psychology, and the group of psychiatrists that I'm in right now are primarily Jungian analysts, so very exciting stuff.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Yeah, the course of history has totally been compartmentalized, and we've totally sectioned off ourselves from the world, and we've sectioned off, our relationships to the astral bodies, not only the astral bodies, but our own bodies in relation to those as well. How do you see us kind of bridging that? Because I know you have a YouTube channel, I know you put out a lot of information, which you can plug at the end of this video. But how do you see us kind of bridging that gap and kind of tying it all together? Because I'm totally in accordance with the fact that all this information, the occult science, the psychology, astrology, all of it is all connected. We're in a universe of total connectivity, and everything is. It's bad to only study one thing, because then you don't get the full picture. Then you can't harness that power and use it to its full capability. Yes. So how do you see us, and what are you doing to kind of bridge that and then try to get it all together? Tell us about what you're up to.
Yeah, most definitely. I guess for my personal growth and how everything has been kind of coming together for me, and how I hope to help other people eventually, is through the use of psychedelic medicine. Before the use of psychedelic medicine in my own life, I wasn't fully in tune with how deeply connected my body and my subtle bodies were with each other. And then I was starting to think, if there's so much connection between my physical body and my subtle bodies, what type of other subtle therapies am I missing out on? So then that kind of led me to start thinking, and because it's this interesting thing. There's a lot of people who, well, I don't know if I would say a lot, but there are people out there who are naturally very in tune with that. But until we can even realize that there is some other dimensions of ourselves that do hold this very profound energy, how are we able to look at it? I can like feel it when I was doing this. Like, how are we able to even begin if we don't know that it's there?
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
And if we can't conceptualize it as well, you know, it's a union between the masculine and feminine.
The union.
Yeah, totally.
Union.
Yeah, it's that bridge between the analytical mind and the intuitive mind, you know.
Definitely.
Because if you can't feel it, well, you're fucked, and then you compartmentalize everything and separate everything.
You can't feel it, you can't heal it.
Exactly. And if you can't conceptualize it, then all you can do is just feel it, you know? And it really does nothing. Then you're just kind of stuck. You know, Alice in Wonderland, you go into the rabbit hole, you see all that crazy intuitiveness, but then you come back out, you know? Same with the psychedelics, and that's super interesting to me because it's the same. You go in, and it's this super deep moment of experience and knowledge and information is coming at you, and then but you always go out, and then you have to conceptualize it if you want to really apply it to your life.
Exactly.
And talk about tell us about psychedelics. Tell us about, a lot of people are scared to do them. A lot of people are scared. Why do you think people are scared?
Well, I can't speak for other people, but I can tell you why I was scared.
I would love that.
I was scared of losing control. I was scared of what I would find. I was scared of not knowing who I would come out to on the other side, not knowing if I would come out on a different side at all. But I think that there's a beautiful practice of losing control, letting go in controlled settings. I think that, and with this therapy, I do want to help provide that safe space and proper tools for integration afterwards. I think that is just as important as that experience. So I do feel like it's this unknown, but if you're never going into the unknown, what are you doing, I guess?
Yeah, because when we don't go into the unknown, there's only the known. You can't discover anything in the known. Your thoughts, I was thinking about this earlier, your thoughts are just what you already know, just switched around and reversed, you know. And it is those moments of intuition and those experiences like psychedelic trips where you get actually new information that actually, when it first comes, you don't even understand what it is until later, you know. So yeah, I totally agree, you know, into the darkness, into the unknown. That's what it's all about. And that's the only place you can find new things. Because if you're in a room and it's completely lit up, you know, after a while, that's it. You have to go into a dark room, turn on the light to find a new thing. And maybe going into that dark room is that intuitive experience. And maybe turning on the light is the conceptualization, using your intellect and using the higher faculties of your brain.
Yes, and I like that what you're saying about the unknown and like the dark room. Well, that's everything. That's all within us, you know. And it's like all of these different modalities psychedelics are one way, but there's all of these things to actually be able to look within. Yes, to peer within. Like, I cannot even begin to explain the depths of this inner world, and it never stops. And sometimes
it's like the ocean.
It's like the ocean, yeah. So
it's super deep, and people, and I think that the psychedelics is a great door. It's a great perception change, you know, cleansing the doors of perception. A great book. But anyways, what was I going to say? I was going to say that going into that dark room using psychedelics is a great method for people who aren't really equipped with the other modalities of doing so, you know, because meditation is hard work, you know. True introspection is hard work. And you know, people need a quick dose of that, maybe, to say, because a lot of people, you know, before I got super deep into this type of stuff, you know, I didn't even know that part of me existed, you know. And so taking a psychedelic drug is like, oh wait, there's that weird thing about me that's super deep. I don't understand it at all, and now I can see it. But then when you come down off of your trip, you're like, okay, you kind of remember it, and you're like, okay, that was weird. I should investigate that further.
Definitely.
So I think you're right, that the psychedelics can be a great tool.
Well, and bring it, and I totally agree. And bringing it back to the original question, I kind of went down the rabbit hole, and I might be forgetting, but like how how we can like bridge the healing and all of that kind of stuff. And that's what I try to do with my energy healing practice. So I use a wide variety of different tools and methods. I use my breath, I use drumming on the body, I set up crystal grids on the body, I use essential oils, other types of spiritual oils, things I find like in nature, all of these different things, because I try to create that same mystical altered state of consciousness to be able to tap in, maybe for the first time even, you know, similar to the way a psychedelic would work, because when we start to light up all those different parts of our brain, it kind of triggers us into some sort of mystical experience. You know, thinking about, I don't even know, like the Catholic Church, for example, thinking they're not doing witchcraft, but they are. So they've got the incense going, so you have the smell, they have all the dramatic cathedrals, you have the visuals going on, you have the smell, you have the candles, more visuals, you hear sound, all the reverberations coming through your body. And it kind of puts people into an altered state of consciousness, right? So say it not... Yeah, just that same type of energy.
And they also have the communion. Sorry to interrupt,
Yes,
but I just had to say they have the communion.
They have
you
the
know,
communion.
they eat the body of Christ. They drink the blood of Christ.
Yes.
And let me just say, these psychedelics, that's a real communion with the higher faculties of the universe.
We see all of these old paintings and like frescoes with all of these trippy mushrooms everywhere. It's like, okay,
It's
like
true.
we need to talk about this a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. Yep. And we see Mary Magdalene with her bottle of you know, darkish brown golden liquid, you know, healing.
I feel very attached to Mary Magdalene. Yes, the divine, like, whore and virgin archetype at the same time. Yes.
Totally. It's deeper than that.
Yeah.
You know, it goes back to antiquity. It goes back to creation itself.
Yeah.
And it's something we all should be connected to.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. This was awesome. Yeah, check out Madison's YouTube page. What is it? Tell us about it.
I think it's just my name, to be honest. I don't know why I haven't figured this out, but I think it's just Madison Binge. So MADISONVINJE. And then I put all of my lectures on occult philosophy up there. I might do some vlogging and stuff too. I haven't decided. I'm going to Thailand for a month and a week, and I'm going to be visiting some temples and all that. So I might be vlogging about that.
I would love to see that.
I'm excited, so I'm thinking about it. But yeah, and then my Instagram is like thefruitbat _ THEFRUITBAT _. But and I also have an Etsy store too. It's called Amrita's Alchemy. It's where I sell all my vintage occult goods that I find thrifting, and I sell my artwork there too. I'm an artist. And on my YouTube, I'm also starting to record myself in trance and do ritual performance art. So that's kind of like coming soon too. So.
Wow, a lot to look forward to and a lot to explore. This was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's dive into the universe.
Literally don't.